The monarch butterfly, a winged wonder at risk.
Danaeus plexippus, commonly known as the monarch butterfly, is one of the most charismatic and well-known insect species in North America. However, this iconic species is in serious danger. The monarch butterfly isn't just a symbol of transformation and resilience. It's also a keystone species, intricately woven into the fabric of ecosystems. Today, we're diving into the fascinating life of the monarch butterfly, the challenges it faces, and why the species' decline would send ripples across the natural world and our individual lives.
The monarch butterfly possesses extraordinary qualities throughout its lifespan.
Female monarchs lay an average of 400 to 500 eggs in their lifespan, on the leaves of milkweed plants. The common name for many plants in the genus is Clepias. Monarch caterpillars only feed on milkweed leaves, which contain compounds in their vacuoles called cardiac glycosides that are poisonous to most other animals. The monarch butterfly has developed resistance to this toxin, giving caterpillars a strong chemical defense against predators. Adult monarch butterflies display aposematism, displayed in the species on screen, which describes when species have bright, flashy colors, usually red or orange paired with black, warning predators that they are toxic. Monarch adults are similarly toxic to invertebrates, as are viceroy butterflies, a species which closely imitates the patterning and coloration of the adult monarch. This was long thought to be Batesian mimicry, exhibited when a non-poisonous organism imitates the appearance of a poisonous organism in order to be avoided by predators. However, it has been recently discovered that viceroys are toxic as well, meaning what the species actually exhibit is Müllerian mimicry, another type of mimicry in which both species benefit off of both being toxic.
While the species are remarkably similar in appearance, viceroys possess a thin black line on their hind wing that monarchs do not. Viceroys do not migrate, and they breed on willow.
Monarch butterflies, as they are lepidopterans, the order name for butterflies and moths, go through a complete metamorphosis, such as coleopterans, that's beetles, and hymenopterans, that's ants, bees, wasps, and sawflies. A complete metamorphosis, with 4 stages of growth, is depicted on the left. Depicted on the right is an incomplete metamorphosis, demonstrated by hemipterans and orthopterans. Order Hemiptera contains true bugs with piercing, sucking mouthparts, and Orthoptera includes grasshoppers, katydids, and crickets. Their pupal stage takes the form of a chrysalis, commonly mistaken for a cocoon.
However, this is incorrect.
Cocoon refers to the layer of silk protection that moth larvae spin for their pupal stage.
Monarchs remain in their chrysalis for 8 to 12 days, depending on their surrounding climate. When the adult is ready to emerge, the front of the chrysalis splits open, and the butterfly emerges with its wings folded. Fluid is pumped through veins in the wings, inflating them to their proper shape and size. If the butterfly is unable to hang upside down while its wings inflate and harden, they will not form properly, preventing the butterfly from flight.
Adult monarchs are sexually dimorphic, the most recognizable feature being males have a dot on the vein of their hind wing, made of specialized scales. Males and females also have differences in abdomen shapes. Butterflies will live from 2 to 6 weeks, except for the last generation of the year, which lives up to 8 or 9 months.
Monarchs undergo one of the most incredible migrations in the animal kingdom. Every year, millions of them travel up 3,000 miles from Canada and the United States to the mountains of central Mexico. This migration is unique because it spans multiple generations, involves thousands of miles, and is critical for the species' survival. Monarch butterflies primarily migrate in North America, traveling from Canada and the northern United States to central Mexico, particularly to the Oyama fir forests in the Sierra Madre Mountains. This migration occurs in distinct phases over the course of a year. Southbound fall migration takes place from August to October. Monarchs from northern regions begin flying south as temperatures drop and daylight decreases. They cover up to 3,000 miles to reach their overwintering grounds. Overwintering happens from November to March. In Mexico, millions of monarchs cluster on trees in Oyama fir forests.
In California, they gather in eucalyptus, Monterey pine, and cypress groves.
During this time, the butterflies are in a semi-dormant state, conserving energy and surviving on stored fat reserves. The northbound spring migration occurs from March to June. Monarchs begin migrating north, stopping to reproduce along the way. Females lay eggs on milkweed plants before dying. Their offspring continue the journey. Breeding happens from late spring to summer. Successive generations of monarchs breed and spread throughout their northern range, completing the migration cycle.
This unique migration is completed over 4 to 5 generations. Generation 1 hatches in late spring, flies north, and breeds. Generations 2 and 3 continue moving north, breeding along the way. Generation 4, known as the super generation, is born in late summer or early fall. This generation lives longer, up to 8 months, and undertakes the southbound migration.
Monarchs rely on a variety of mechanisms to navigate. They use the position of the sun and the circadian clock in their antennae to determine direction. Monarchs may also detect Earth's magnetic field to orient themselves, especially during cloudy weather. They respond to temperature changes, wind patterns, and the availability of nectar sources. Monarch migrations serve several ecological and evolutionary purposes, the first being avoidance of cold winters. Monarchs cannot survive freezing temperatures in northern regions. Migration also ensures monarchs reach milkweed-rich areas for reproduction. The cycle enables rapid population recovery after winter losses. Although monarchs are debatably the most well-known lepidopteran species, their populations have plummeted by more than 80% over the past 2 decades, with a variety of reasons for their decline. One of the biggest culprits is habitat loss. Milkweed, the sole plant monarch caterpillars feed on, is being wiped out by urban development and pesticide use. Meanwhile, deforestation in Mexico threatens the monarch's overwintering sites. Legal logging in the fir forests, combined with climate change, is disrupting the delicate balance that monarchs depend on during their winter hibernation. Climate change also plays a major role. Rising temperatures can interfere with migration cues, while extreme weather events, like unseasonal frosts or hurricanes, can decimate entire populations. In 1975, Fred and Noah Urquhart, Canadian researchers, brought into the public knowledge the monarch's overwintering sites in the forests of central Mexico. Scientists continue to study monarchs to understand their navigation mechanisms, genetic makeup, and ecological roles. Monarchs are pollinators, contributing to the health of ecosystems by aiding plant reproduction. Since the late 20th century, monarch populations have faced steep declines due to habitat loss, climate change, and environmental pollutants. The migratory monarch butterfly was listed as endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List in 2022. Monarch monitoring programs, like those initiated by the Monarch Watch organization, have engaged citizens in tracking migration and population trends. Monarch populations have faced steep declines due to habitat loss, climate change, and environmental pollutants. The migratory monarch butterfly was listed as endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List in 2022. Monarch monitoring programs, like those initiated by the Monarch Watch organization, have engaged citizen scientists in tracking migration and population trends. Conservation groups and schools across North America have promoted milkweed planting and butterfly gardens to support monarch habitats. Because monarchs migrate across multiple countries, conservation includes coordinated efforts among the US, Canada, and Mexico. The UNESCO World Heritage designation of Mexico's monarch butterfly reserves has highlighted the need to protect these critical sites. Monarch butterflies have become a powerful symbol of the interconnectedness of ecosystems and the importance of biodiversity. They are often used as an indicator species for environmental health, reflecting broader trends in habitat and climate changes. Humans' relationship with monarchs has evolved from admiration and curiosity to a partnership aimed at ensuring their survival, uncovering the broader challenge of living harmoniously with nature. The good news is, we still have time to save the monarch. Conservation efforts are underway, from planting milkweed in backyards to protecting overwintering sites, but it will take all of us to make a difference. Individuals can help by planting milkweed, avoiding pesticides, and supporting organizations working to protect monarch habitats. Small actions, when multiplied, can lead to big change. So, why should we care if the monarch butterfly disappears? Beyond their beauty, monarchs play a critical role in ecosystems. As pollinators, they contribute to the reproduction of countless plant species, including many crops that humans rely on. Their decline signals a broader ecological crisis. Pollinators as a whole are under threat, and losing them would jeopardize food security for billions of people. There is also significant cultural and emotional value for monarchs. Their annual migration inspires art, science, and community celebrations. The history of human relationship with monarch butterflies is rich and complex, spanning cultural relevance, scientific discovery, environmental concerns, and conservation efforts. Monarch butterflies have long been significant in the cultural traditions of indigenous peoples in North and Central America, particularly in Mexico.
The people of Michoacán view monarchs as symbols of returning souls, linking their annual migration to Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Monarchs typically appear in their overwintering sites around this time in late October to early November.
In Aztec mythology, butterflies were seen as representations of the spirits of the dead, or as messengers between the mortal and divine realms. Monarch butterflies appear in indigenous art, crafts, and stories, often associated with themes of transformation, beauty, and resilience. European colonists in North America noted the monarch's striking appearance and its prevalence in the landscape, but its migratory patterns remained a mystery to them for centuries. The monarch was first described scientifically in the mid-1700s by Carl Linnaeus, who named it Danaus plexippus. The monarch's incredible migration, covering thousands of miles from Canada and the United States to Mexico, puzzled scientists for decades. In 1975, Fred and Noah Urquhart, Canadian researchers, discovered the monarch's overwintering sites in the forest. Well, I shouldn't have said discovered. The monarch butterfly is more than just a beautiful insect. It's a symbol of interconnectedness, resilience, and the power of nature. By protecting them, we protect much more than a species. We protect the delicate balance of life itself. Thank you for watching.